Alright, what's up? I'm here with Patrick Smurf.
What's up?
It's the Third Eye Podcast. We're starting this bitch up. So, topic.
Adolescence.
I guess we're gonna show you our minds of being a young adult. What we've come across so far, and what we have planned, or what we expect to see.
Well said.
So who wants to start?
I think Steven would like to start first. Might as well.
What's your experiences brought you so far, or taught you?
Well, it's hard to put it into words exactly. Hey, you got my shirt. But I can tell you one thing. They did tell us in high school about this.
Yeah, no, I don't think any school teacher. I don't even think either of my parents would have or could have prepared or told me anything that would really help. I guess I don't even think being in the mind of a young adult, me now, you now, or him now, probably still couldn't tell somebody how to step through it or go through it.
Yeah.
100% at least. I mean, certain situations, yeah, we could probably help with certain key things in our heads that we know are straight and they don't know yet, or something like that, you know what I mean? And they need help or guidance towards that. Other than that, I know I couldn't sit here and be like, this is what you need to do, or this is what you should do, because it's different for every person.
I mean, the thing is, like, I feel like sometimes you're, like, talking to someone, and they're, like, telling you their perspective, and you're, like, feel like, you know the answer to what they're trying to do, or, like, what they should do. But then, like, the more you talk to someone, the more it's, like...
Well, maybe that answer isn't necessarily right for them, because of the type of person they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that I think that comes up a lot nowadays, or around our ages, because a lot of people are trying to figure out who they are, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are also still caught up in that they want everybody to be known who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that really catches up to a lot of people, and it really tears apart who they actually are, and it fucks up people actually wanting to be friends with them.
Exactly.
Especially in my perspective, I'd rather stay away from somebody that's trying to be all flashy and out there. I'd rather have somebody that's real and you can't tell what he's doing.
Yeah, it's like you gotta just figure out kind of like a vibe of someone, you know what I'm saying? Like if you really want to hang out with them.
Growing up, friendships-wise and stuff like that, it's really based on a type of vibe. I mean, a vibe can turn physical. If your stomach doesn't feel right when you're with somebody, that's a sign. Something's gonna happen, or they're gonna do something. You know, I feel like that's happened to me a lot, where I didn't feel right in a situation. Some shit did happen, or I shouldn't have been there. Whether shit did happen or didn't, I know I shouldn't have been in that situation because of my own personal feelings.
Yeah.
And I feel like pushing myself into that really killed me, because I would be arrogant or cocky instead of trying to be the person I was, because I was trying to hide that stomach turning feeling or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I used to smoke a lot and stuff, you know. It was fun at first, you know. I'd be going to my friend's house with Steven and stuff. And then, you know, we would just sit around, get high and stuff, chill, stuff like that. But, like, it started to not be compatible with the
started
things.
Actually making me not want to do anything.
Yeah, it wasn't compatible with the things that I wanted to do with myself, like play guitar and stuff. So when I'm fried, you know, like some people get like that feeling like they're more creative, more focused and stuff. But with me, it's more like I kind of just like thinking about like a bunch, like a daze, like just thinking about like a bunch of random shit at once, and it's like overwhelming and stuff. So
yeah, that's why I think I still smoke now, because now I think for me it's more of helping me be productive It's not actually making me go into a daze, and for a little while it did, and for a little while I was actually thinking about stopping because of this lifestyle. Why would I waste all my money on this when I could go do this or go do this or save up for something like a car or a house or something down the line? But at the same time now I can maintain a budget, I guess you can consider, where I can still do that and still do my other things too. It sucks now. I'm going through a hard time now with like work and stuff like that, which comes up a lot, and a lot of younger people or even older people know that. And other than that, I don't know where I was going with it.
It just is like, I guess it's just depending on like what works for you, kind of. Like if you can get high and like you can afford to buy that kind of stuff and things like that,
and still maintain everything else that's going on in your life without that being like a distraction or a money pit or something of that sort.
It's about like management,
not making it an addiction, but more of like a meditation or a medication, like it should be, not something that you should just spend all your money on because all your friends are doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Like moderation, I think, is like the big thing that you gotta. When you grow up, you gotta realize like how to moderate. And
it's not for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really not. No, I don't think. Don't get me wrong. I'm not into any other things really, but any other drug is the same way. It's not for everybody, and it half of them shouldn't be for anybody at all because of how harmful they are and how bad they affect human bodies and whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, pretty much. With whatever you're using or whatever, moderation. You have to be aware of what it is that you are using, and whatever's talking about weed. There's a lot of different types for a lot of different people.
I think like what was I gonna say?
I don't know. I think it's crazy in this generation, in our time now, how drugs are a big influence to a lot of people and a lot of majority of people, whether it's just pot or something harder. I kind of feel ashamed like that, I don't want to be a part of the generation that has everybody doing all of these things, but that aren't doing things with their lives. There's a difference between somebody that's doing it and still doing things with their lives and still being able to function with their lives. And then there's the people that are doing it just to do it. Yeah. And that's the problem, because the people that are just doing to do it are affecting the rest of the community.
Because I think sometimes you get in like this kind of mindset where like you're just working in like a pattern, kind of like this is what you do, so you're just gonna keep doing that because that's all you
exactly, because you think that's all you should do. Now if you're in a work pattern and you feel like you need a release or something, and you go home after a long day of work, you make sure you know your money is right and you're good, and you can roll up a J and smoke it without affecting yourself, your bills, or if you have kids at this point, your kids or anything like that, then go for it. That's what it should be for. But you don't need to be going on to social media, and that's another thing. That's a whole different story. But you don't need to be going into any platforms or be going to other people just to show off the fact that you're smoking or have smoked. There's no reason to be doing that, and that'll affect you becoming a person when you're going through becoming a young adult and going through the high school stages and coming up through that.
Because I think at a certain point, I think when people typically start using drugs is around that high school year, like freshman year, maybe.
I remember walking in freshman year and instantly just being smacked with. People thought that was the regular thing. Vaping in the bathroom, smoking. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't condone it, or I do condone it, but that shit was just like normal. Like people just thought that was normal, and that's not a good thing for our younger generation to do. Like, you are killing yourself doing that, or getting yourself in trouble, or being stupid about it just to get your name out there when it's not going to matter once you get out of high school.
Exactly.
And a job's not going to look at you, oh, you got caught in the bathroom, you're so cool, you're hired. No, they're going to look at that and be like, you're a fucking irresponsible fuck.
Yeah, what do you think, Steven? Because you've been through the whole high school experience.
Getting caught up and suspended. And
Getting caught up, suspended, shit like that.
Yeah, when you're in high school, it can be easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, and you know, it's better to learn sooner than later that it doesn't matter. But you know, some people learn it
too late
later in their lives, and I think a lot of it depends on who you surround yourself with, and you know, who you get your information from.
Got to do a lot of self-thinking.
Oh yeah,
self-searching.
Another thing,
to be able to put yourself around other people.
Yeah.
That's what you should do first, is your self-searching, to know who you are, to know that those are the type of people you want around. Whether they're bad or good, if you are a bad person, or quote-unquote bad person, and you want to, that's who the people that you're going to be around, that's the people you're going to be around, that's fine. But if you're not that type of person, just because people think that's cool, don't be that person just because people think that's cool. That's not you. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like, pretty much got to spend some time alone so you can think of what's important to you, pretty much. And then once you do that, you know, it makes things sort of clearer, maybe. And I think the earlier you do it, the better off you'll be in the long run. So take that time alone, and you know, don't worry about maybe what your parents are gonna say, or you know, or who's gonna say.
Whoever you'd be worried about or look up to, or whatever the case may be, shouldn't be worried about that. But
yeah, I mean, that's just me saying it. Again, that's just my personal experience. I know it's not
my
the same
personal,
for everybody.
and whatever his personal experience is as well. We aren't saying that this is the right way. This is not the right way for you to follow. We're just telling you our sides and what we came up going through and seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta fuck up a little bit first before
to realize what the system, or what,
to get better, to like figure out yourself a little
how
bit.
you're gonna react to know the person you are.
Yeah, because like when you're young and shit, you know, and you're getting to like that age around when like you're becoming more independent, you can do more things by yourself, you know, you go to your friend's house whenever, you stay out later, stuff like that, you know.
Your parents start to release, so you
Yeah.
need to be holding yourself and not releasing with your parents, let's say like that.
I think like you're gonna mess up, you know.
Oh, 100%. I did.
And
You did.
Yeah.
He did.
And that's normal.
And I don't know one of my friends that I don't know of one person that's gone through high school and hasn't messed up at least once.
Mm-hmm.
At least once. I'm not saying that they didn't, there's not people that mess up once and then don't mess up again. That's totally possible. There is people that are like that, but I do not know one person that has not messed up once. Whether it was a slip of a grade, to a slipping up in class, to fucking around in class, getting caught up, whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's like you're gonna fuck up stuff, so
But while
you gotta learn from it, you know.
While you're messing up, you need to
Yeah.
take it into consideration and actually learn from the people that are around you, whether or not you think they are out there to harm you or not. They're probably not, and they're probably trying to teach you a lesson so you don't continue to fuck up in life.
Yes, another thing, like listening to people who have been through certain kind of shit.
Or seen it, at least.
Yeah,
You know, at
you
least
know.
if they've seen it, they can tell when it's happening again, whether they've been through it 100% or not. And there's people that don't know what they're talking about, and there will be people that are trying to tell you things that they don't know what they're talking about. And that could be on our case. Our case could be totally different from 3 other high schoolers.
It's the
Well,
other tricky thing is
Old high schoolers. Me and you still gotta graduate this year. He's
Yeah.
already graduated.
the other thing is figuring out who you want to like get your information from, kind of, because it's not like everyone, like no one really knows exactly what's going on, but I think it goes back to vibes of people. Like sometimes you can tell when there's like an honest
You gotta
type
learn.
person.
You gotta learn how to read yourself, and then use that to read others. Because if you don't, you're not gonna get the friends you want. You're not gonna get the people that are you around you.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna make you not you, and that's when a lot of people start to slip up.
Like when you hang out with people and start seeing like cracks in how they act. Like maybe they're trying to tell you how to act one way, but maybe
or maybe they're totally cool when you're around them, and then once they get around another friend or somebody else, they're totally different. That's not the type of person you want to be around.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do you any good.
Yeah, I mean,
If a person cannot be 100% them the whole time with you and be 100% cool with you at all times, no matter who else comes around, they're not there to be your buddy.
but I feel like, again, when you're a young kid, you know, it's not, no one's grown up enough like that. So
Exactly.
it's nice when you, like, people are going to be, like, fake or, like,
You're gonna
whatever.
see it. No, you're gonna see it, and whether you don't see it or not, there's gonna be times where you don't see it.
Yeah.
How many people have we come across or have been in and out of our friend group
Mm-hmm.
that we could have never even seen, either coming into our friend group or leaving our friend group?
It's like, you know.
Whether even if they didn't leave or if they left for a period of time and came back, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whether it was like that or not, there's those times and experiences where people were like, holy shit, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, and no one's, like, perfect, you know? Like, certain people go through certain things, and I don't know. It's
That's
like,
why you gotta mess up to learn, because
Yeah.
nobody's perfect, and you gotta know that you're not perfect. You gotta see it yourself. You gotta experience it and let the other people around you experience that nobody is perfect and within yourself.
I was lucky because I had a big brother, Steven, because, like, he showed me certain ways of, you know, how to
Surviving high
get
school.
how to get around and stuff. But at the same time, he's kind of a dipshit, you know. So, yeah. But we both have found people together through us sticking together and stuff. We've discovered different people who've helped both of us, older people who are more, have been through more stuff and can help guide us more. So, you know.
Always take into consideration
Yeah.
other people's guidance. You don't have to take in ours. You don't at all. I'm not saying you are entitled to our opinion or not. Just giving us our opinion so you have our free-minded spirit about it.
And,
This topic was actually brought up by my aunt, and I want to thank her for that, because this is actually a really hard topic for, I think, kids our age to talk about, or young adults our age to talk about, because Steven over here is older than us, and he's not even talking about it. Because he knows his words of wisdoms are not necessarily words. He already, you know, took us under his wing when he was older than us in high school and stuff like that, so...
Yeah. But I think, like, it's also just because you really trust someone and you're attached to them doesn't mean you should always listen to what they say or do what they
Again,
do.
that goes back to vibes and your feeling. If somebody tells you something and you start to feed into it and you don't feel right when you're doing it, do the opposite. Do what you were going to do in the beginning. You should probably follow your heart, whether anybody's opinion
Yeah, like, I mean,
is in play.
Like, there was a point where, you know, me and Steven would hang out all the time, and we would do the same thing, smoke all the time, hang out with our
And you
friends.
get sick of each other and you fucking argue more.
Yeah. And then it was just like, what I wanted to do just differentiated from what his plans were and stuff. So, I mean, even though I love him, I still
You're gonna have even friends. Like, I have friends that were like that. Like, me and Jackson were like that. We used to do that shit all the time. I mean, me and you were like that. I mean, I never really got sick of you, but there is those times where we outgrow each other, and there is things that you do that I don't do, and there's things I do that you don't do.
Yeah.
Same thing with him. Same thing with all of our other friends. I have other friends. We have other friends. I have other friends. You know what I mean? You have other friends that I don't like that are mutual.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any disrespect towards them, but like I'm not necessarily friends with them. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. That's.
I mean, you can distance yourself from someone, you know,
And still have the
you
same.
don't have respect for them
Exactly.
and stuff, and you don't.
You don't have to disrespect somebody to distance yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like just because you don't want to hang out with someone as much because you guys are doing two different kind of things, it
Doesn't mean you
it
need to
needs
beef or
yeah, it
cause a
doesn't mean-
problem or
yeah.
argue about doing the opposites.
It doesn't need
things.
to get nasty.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
a
saying?
lot of drama caused in high school because people were didn't want to do something or did the opposite or wanted to do the opposite, and other people had so much judgment against that when there surely shouldn't be that, especially
Yeah.
within a friend group too. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of friends that pushed me or pushed other people I've seen to certain things. Now they're a lot chiller. You know what I mean? That's why they're still my friend because they're different. They seem oh shit. Because there's people that wake up in high school, and there's people that don't. And I think most of my friends have, at least.
Yeah.
Or did right after the fact, at least, you know? Especially, like, my boy Stanger.
Yeah.
He definitely woke up right about after.
Mhm.
He had some shit in his life going on. I'm not going to talk about it. It's not my business, too. But after that, I feel like, you know what I mean? He came an adult, woke up, and started doing what he had to do.
But he still has time in
To
his schedule
enjoy.
to chill
Exactly.
and like enjoy the things that he wants to enjoy. And you know, he wasn't around for a little bit because you know he had his job going on and stuff like that. He wasn't really hanging out with
But he
people
took
like
that time to be him.
Yeah.
And focus on himself, and now he's putting out him to anybody he sees. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
He's not putting out. He used to be a little dickhead and put up a little front sometimes in front of other people, but now
Sure.
he'll be the total opposite he was to that person if they ever came back around.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's
And this is purely just using him as an example. This is no disrespect, but he's one of like my
Yeah.
brothers, so
Well,
nobody disrespect.
it's like if you go out of your way, you know, if you have to take some time for yourself, you know, when you're younger, you know, people might be like, oh, that guy's being a fag, you know,
He's being
he doesn't
weird
want
or
to hang out
something.
with anyone, you know, but like, if they're like really your friend, like then it might take time, but eventually they'll respect you more for it.
or
if
at
you
least
take your time.
try to understand it, and if they're
Yeah.
trying to understand it, then there should be no arguing about it.
But if they like never get it, you know, like you give
Or
them
they're always,
chances too.
like quote unquote bugging you or
Yeah.
like trying to get something out of you instead of being like, okay, I'm here for you if you want to, and I'm still going to support you whatever your decisions are. Instead of being like that, and they're trying to just get something out of you or push you to do something you don't want to or say something you don't want to at the moment or whatever.
Then that's like
That's-
some person you shouldn't.
You shouldn't
be
put
with.
yourself around a negative energy like that,
Yeah.
because that's a lot that can cause a lot of negative fights. I mean, they could be a good friend, don't get me wrong. They could just be bad in situations like that.
Yeah.
And when they're bad in situations like that, that's when you cause a fight or beef between a friend, and you don't need that. And if that's happening, you still want to be friends with them, you just need to shut it down and tell them, listen, like, I'm not arguing about it. I don't want to talk about it. End of story. Leave them alone for a few days.
You just gotta be a little mature about your relationships with people.
And not
And-
just like a relationship, like, oh, I
Yeah.
got a girlfriend type of relationship. I'm talking
Yeah.
with anybody, even a teacher relationship. You gotta. Don't get me wrong. There's situations where I was disrespected by a teacher, so I gave it back. But at that point, that's where the type of relationship be. If you're not if they're not disrespecting you, don't disrespect them.
Yeah, it's
If
not.
they're not, if they disrespect you, okay, you should have every right to disrespect them, whatever trouble you get in.
Yeah.
Again, don't follow that. I got in trouble a few times, but in a real life relationship outside of school, that's how it works.
Yeah.
It goes off by respect. If you don't respect me first, I'm not gonna respect you back. That's how it should go. It's not. Oh, I don't respect you. Then I'm gonna decide to then switch back. No, there's no switching back and
Yeah.
forth after you get out of high school.
That's
after
why-
you get into the real world.
That's why you gotta give people a chance, you know? Like, some people are kind of, like, competitive when they first meet each other, like,
Trying to show that they're cool or
yeah,
something.
or, like, trying to, like, show off something of themselves. But, like, I think you should just, like, you know, start by just being, like, not nice, but like respectful and stuff, and like see how they come back with that, you know, if they're being disrespectful about it, you know.
And don't get me wrong, there's rambunctious kids out there. Like I was rambunctious for a little bit. Freshman, sophomore year, I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted to, whenever, wherever. I didn't care what I said, what I was doing, who I was gonna put my hands on, nothing. I didn't care. And that was arrogance and stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
And I realized that after the fact, and that's why I'm here now trying to talk about this great topic.
Yeah, good job. You're on. Ashton Thomas.
Yeah.
Good topic.
It was either that or aliens. I didn't know anything about aliens.
I want to talk about fucking aliens.
Well, I'm not a scientist to be able to talk about that. I'd love to, but I'm not a scientist, so I can't put that out there because then nobody will. At least I'm trying to put out experiences I've actually been in, you know?
The guy from fucking Blink-182, he knows hell shit about aliens.
Shout out Blink-182.
Yeah, shout out Blink-182.
Come on, bro. Come on my podcast. Oh, the whole band. Come on.
That'd be dope. But, yeah. I mean, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Yeah.
Just some perspectives.
Yeah.
Just 3 perspectives from 3 organisms.
Yeah, 3 humans.
That you don't need to take any consideration to.
Yeah.
I won't take any offense if you don't. I don't really care. I just want to put my mind out there to others to take in if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I brought these lovely guests, because they're pretty good at doing that themselves.
Word up.
And I think this was a great topic for that. So, thank you for watching. Leave a sub, like the video, and thank you to both of them.
Subscribe.
Deuces.